All right, this is my last black and white deck, and I've named this Chelsea after Chelsea Wolfe, which is one of my favorite musicians. She's I think my favorite album by her is His Spun. If I can find a non-copyright, janky link to it, I'll put it in the description. I love Chelsea. Her videos are dark. Her aesthetic is very dark. She's extremely talented. So I named this deck Chelsea. I was going to name it Diamanda after Diamanda Galas, who's also very dark. But Chelsea's easier to say, and I would, though, encourage people to listen to Down So Low by Diamanda. She has this crazy range in her vocals. And it's not for everybody, but anyone who appreciates a singer at all can appreciate her talent. Her musical style may not be for you, but it's something to behold anyway. This guide has a lot of description that I would use personally if I'm not filming a video. I think any videos I'm going to be, until I memorize this entire deck, which we're talking 78 cards, just seems like an insurmountable task right now, but I'm going to try. I will endeavor to persevere. The guide in this one is bullet pointed, so it would be easier to use for videos, and that way people don't have to suffer through me. All 12 of you suffer through me reading these descriptions, but I do love the descriptions, and they provide a kind of a somewhat different perspective on what's going on in the cards. Just they're wording it differently, and I'm a data collector, so if I'm going to learn something, I like to learn it from different angles. Repetition also. And writing, which I will not be doing any of that. I've been hunting and pecking on my keyboard for about 2 weeks now. Anyway, enough of my suffering. Let's look at the Black Tarot. This is by Victoria Iva. And some of the art, I'm not saying she's ripping anybody off. That's not what I'm saying. It's kind of Guillermo del Toro-ish-esque ism. As you can see there. Some of these, you can kind of guess what the meaning is here. Like this one, obviously. That's the moon. All different phases of it, like, duh, right? But some of these others, it's not quite, you can't really ascertain the meaning. Well, that one might be pretty clear. Or maybe it's just that I'm a rookie, so I don't even know what I'm looking at. That's possible. It's just, some of these cards actually, I've just sat and looked at for quite a while. I love this artwork. Uh-oh, my puppy's up. I think we're going to be getting a visitor very soon. This is the World. This one I really like because, let me see if this is in this shot. Okay. This one, it looks like an eyeball. And then this also reminds me of like the vascularization of the eyeball there. I just think that one's neat. Nine of Wands. This one reminds me of, I can't remember which album it is. Hi, sweetie. What's the matter? I can't remember which album it is, but this looks like, it reminds me of like an Electric Wizard album. And again, I'm not accusing anybody of ripping anybody off. It's just, it's a similar style. Hey, baby. We have to greet the little man. Hi, honey. Good morning. Good morning. That one's really, that's a Six of Cups. Knight of Swords. I mean, that's, well, I mean, let's really look at it. Incredible. Are you seriously going to do this right now, honey? I'm trying to decide whether little man is going to... He just got himself all tied up in my cords. Okay, look at this. Amazing. Now, with this deck, the minor arcana are not any less interesting than the major. There's Six of Swords there, but, you know, like this is the Two of Wands. Just as elaborate as, you know, a major. Queen of Swords. King of Cups. Two of spheres in this one. Two of Swords. As you can see, or Four of Swords rather. You see, like, you know, maybe some aren't that exciting, but then you get a card like that. Here's Death. He's like, I've had it with you people. I'm going to go play some checkers. The Hermit, that could not be any clearer. Seven of Wands. Three of Spheres. Perhaps when I learn this better, I will know by sight how the art matches up to the meaning of the card, but don't hold your breath. I love this one because it has hands on it. It's like a headless spearman running around. Ace of Swords, that's pretty clear, right? Ten of Spheres, look at that card. Temperance. Five of Cups, look at it. If the meaning of this card is stretched too thin, I will die laughing. I will. The Tower. This doesn't have any people falling from it or what have you, but I can still tell that things have gone horribly awry. That's what good art does, I guess. I love this deck. I love it. Also, I love color too. You know, I get super excited when I see I can use hot pink or neon green, or I love color too. But, you know, sometimes when you're doing a reading, especially if you're, you know, presently staring into the abyss, and you don't need it to be any different because you're fine with that. Like, you understand how abyssal life can be, but that doesn't mean it's supposed to be any different. It sure is nice to, you know, do readings with cards that are... Sometimes I feel like I'm being mood policed into some... Life is full of dark times, and I don't run from them. I kind of just try to increase my tolerance for it. You know, eventually you just get to a point where things don't bother you. And then you can focus on fighting the fights that need to be fought. Not the everyday stuff that really, you know, it's just humans kind of like running into each other like bumper cars. That definitely reminds me of an Electric Wizard album cover there. I keep checking. I'll get the hang of this. This one's interesting. Knight of Cups. Where's the guy? Oh, you could barely see him there. And I'm like, this card's about the horse. Forest Spheres, which, if this isn't the mine card, like, I'd be super surprised, because that's what I get from that. Queen of Wands, amazing. Ten of Swords, worst day ever. Strength. No Lion on that one. The Magician. Look at that dude. Page of Wands. Five of Wands. These cards are very sturdy, but I will say my clumsy side shuffle, I've had to take the Sharpie to some of these edges a couple times. But that's what Sharpies are for. Two of Cups. Judgment. The Hierophant. High Priestess. I could see where, you know, if you already know the cards, I could see where this would be super fun. And I will get to that. I will get to that place. Eventually I will be that guy. And then I'll probably love this even more. Now this one, I was like, hey, there's no Hangman here. It's right there. It's there in the background. I'm like, what am I looking at? The Wizard of Oz? What's going on? The Fool. Now this one, I don't know. I still get the message, but I'm almost kind of like, did you accidentally save yourself from this creature that may or may not want to eat you? And like you're completely unconcerned about it? Like, did you accidentally save yourself from a tragedy? Man. I've done it numerous times. Page of Cups. The Chariot. Now this one, look at this. I love me some graph paper. Giving me a pack of graph paper or like a little book like this that's graph, or even several sheets of paper that are graph paper, I can keep myself busy for hours doing contrasting squares and filling them all in like some kind of a whack job. But so I like the checker pattern, but how an artist is able to like warble this, you know, there's like, you can see ripples in it and like indentations. Staggering. Here's another card that I've stared way too long at. And then there's a chariot way up there, almost like a backdrop to this crazy art. There's a sun. There's an eye. Reminds me of an eye. So there's recurring themes in here too. Knight of Wands, I mean, that just looks like something that came out of, I don't even know what. I mean, look at it. Look at it. What is that? Looks hellish. The other thing this deck reminds me of, and that's probably why I like it so much, especially, let's see if I like this here. This is the Seven of Cups. Or like, let me just see if I can quickly find it. Even though we were just looking at a bunch of cards, but I forgot to mention this. One of the other reasons why I like this deck so much is because it reminds me of... There's a band called Dark Space, and their music sounds like what it would be like if you got accidentally ejected from a spacecraft and then you're trapped in like this hellish floating around in space kind of thing, like this one and this one. It reminds me of that. And I love Dark Space. I love that music. It just sounds like you're just floating around for the rest of an eternity in this like anti-gravity hellscape. I love that music. So I like the fact that the cards, the fact that the cards remind me of that is also a huge selling point. Maybe I'll try to link to that too. You're not going to learn any tarot from me. What you're probably going to learn is music. Look at this, though. This will be the last card that I display. Nine of Swords. Could not be clearer. Worst day ever. Right? So that is my Black Tarot